guys, welcome back to my channel. Boy, do I have a story time for you. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Kayla. I do a lot of anti-mlm content, so if you like that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. You can also follow me over on Instagram at __ Kayla Ren. And make sure to send over your experiences with MLM companies. I'm always really curious to hear what experiences you guys have had as well. So before I get into the video, I want to say that these are just my experiences. I really just want to sit down and go over all of this with you guys. So just remember that these are the things that I experienced while dealing with or being involved in the multi-level marketing world. I thought it would be good if I shared my personal experiences with you guys, so that's what we're gonna do today. I've had quite a few different run-ins with multi-level marketing companies, but I think I'll start with the ones that I've been involved in. So the first company that I had been involved with was 31, and it's kind of strange how it happened because my husband was deployed at the time and we had just had our son, so I was a new mom, and I believe it was through like one of those Facebook groups for military spouses, and one of the women on there was a 31 consultant, and she had posted, that she was looking for people to join her team, and she ended up sending me a message as well. Basically, it was like a copy and paste of what she had posted on the Facebook group, and I got to looking into it, and I was like, well, I could probably just go ahead and use these bags, like regardless if I went through with selling it or not. And I believe it was like $99 to sign up with, and you got a handful of these different styles of bags that 31 offered. And if I remember correctly, there were like 2 different collections that you could choose from. So when I got everything in, I just really wasn't too happy with them. I thought that they would be a lot better quality than what they were, but I kind of just chalked it up to, well, it was $99, which is still a lot of money. But worst case scenario, I'm out of $100 and I have these bags that I could use. Again, I had a new baby, so I was like, I could probably just use them as a diaper bag or something. So after I ended up breaking open all of the paperwork, it just seemed like there was so much to it, and I kept messaging the girl that I signed up under to get more information, like, hey, like, how do I get started? What am I supposed to do? And nothing. I got no response from her whatsoever. So even if I wanted to really pursue that, I really didn't have help from the person that recruited me in the first place. And I just thought that was really, really strange. So I didn't follow through with doing anything with it. I had kind of felt at that time that, hey, this girl, she recruited me into this, and shouldn't she be giving me information, kind of directing me, coaching me through all of this stuff? But I never heard a word from her after that. She just ghosted me completely. And now I look back on that knowing what I know now, and what the heck? Like, seriously, just made money off of me for joining underneath of her and did nothing, did not ever speak to me again. Like, how crazy is that? So I ended up obviously having all of these bags, and I still to this day use them when we go camping or if we go on trips. I just grab these bags, stuff my clothes in them, and they work. They're not the greatest. I think one of the straps broke on one that I had, but it is what it is. So yeah, that was my first terrible experience with multi-level marketing companies. So then, as if I didn't learn my lesson the first time, I joined another multi-level marketing company after that. And this time, a girl that I was pretty close to was a consultant for Jamberry. And this is still when they were pretty new, I believe, probably somewhere around 2014. 2015, and she seemed like she was like getting all these customers and making all this money, and she was telling me about how well she was doing, all these sales that she was making. And at the time, I really thought that they were cute. I had never used anything like that. I've always been into getting my nails done and things, so I thought, hey, like, this would be a really cute idea. Like, I would like to check them out. I'd like, I was really curious about them. So she had sent me a couple samples and I tried them. I think I only tried one, and I was like, well, that's really interesting. Okay, so what do we do from here? Like, how do I sign up as a consultant? Because nobody around here sold Jamberry. It wasn't like a very saturated company in our area. Besides the girl that I knew that sold it, I didn't know anybody else that was selling anything like this. And what really convinced me was the fact that she pushed that I could, do this on my own time. I had 2 babies at that point, that I wouldn't have to put a lot of work into it. Everything was online. It wasn't a big thing still at that point to see a lot of these multi-level marketing companies doing all these online parties yet. And I thought, this could be a really cool thing to at least just do in my spare time. And I thought that my friends would like it and that I could make some extra cash. So I ended up joining underneath of her. And I remember soon after I joined, she was telling me how her upline was like one of the top Jamberry consultants that was making all this money. She had already achieved getting this free car and was going on this trip the next year and just all this stuff. And I was like, holy crap, that is amazing. I truly thought that I could do that. Like, this is a really good idea. These things are super cute. They had tons of designs. And then once I received my kit, there was at least at the time, I thought there was so much in it. I paid, I believe, $99 to join Jamberry as well. I got all these catalogs, order forms, a lot of the little cuticle pushers, like this little mini heater to help with the nail wraps. Like, I got to pick a couple different styles of nail wraps. And then I started to try to push them on everybody. I was like on there, I was pushing all these nail wraps online, posting all these pictures, and then they hit me with the fact that I needed to be using specific items in my pictures that I was posting and putting online. So I ended up having to take everything down that I had posted and go through and put certain items in these pictures. So it wasn't even anything that I could really be creative with. It was like they were controlling everything that I would post as well. I had to then word things a specific way. I had to copy and paste certain things, even down to, like I said, what I had in my pictures that I was posting. And I just thought that was really strange at the time, but I kind of just chalked it up and moved on with it. And I have to say that because it was a newer company in my area, I did do pretty well with it. There were quite a few people that were interested, and I ended up having booked a party. One of my really good friends wanted to have a nail wrap party. So when I arrived, there were tons of girls there. I ended up making quite a few sales. At the time, Jamberry had started doing the card, so it was like a little debit card style thing. So they would load your commission onto this card. And I remember making like the sales were amazing that day, that party. And I think I sold like $300 worth of stuff between all the nail wraps and all the different little supplies. And when I finally got my commissions check, it was like $30. And I was like, what the heck? They're telling us that we're gonna make all this money, but yet I had this party that did really well, and at that point hadn't even made back the cost of the kit. And it's funny because one of the biggest things that they pushed was the fact that within your first party, you're guaranteed that you're going to make back what you paid for your starter kit. And I didn't even make just over a quarter of the cost of the starter kit. After that, I kind of was getting a little discouraged, but because it was one of my friends that I signed underneath of, I kept going anyways. And then I started having people questioning me about if the nail wraps would injure their nails, because when they would take the nail wraps off, their nails were getting damaged from it. So I ended up contacting my upline to ask them about this. So my upline immediately shut it down. They did not want me posting anything negative in any of the group chats, any of the Facebook groups whatsoever. Instead, I received a private message from one of the uplines, and she told me to basically handle the situation. Tell them that the nail wraps do not cause damage to the nails, that there are different types of nail problems, and to check and see if she's dehydrated, that it was probably just the fact that she had brittle nails. There are different vitamin deficiencies and all of this crazy stuff. And meanwhile, I'm thinking like, oh my God, am I, selling these people products that are causing damage to their nails? But again, they encouraged me that it wasn't the fact that they're using the nail wraps, that it had everything to do with them and the fact that they might be applying them wrong, or that they might have these problems going on with their nails. And it just didn't feel right to me. At that point, I was like, there's no way. Like, I can't go to this person and be like, look, it's you. It's not the nail wraps. It's you. How do you expect somebody to just like throw something like that out to someone? In my heart, I knew that it was the nail wraps because I had experienced something similar. So I was like, okay, like I definitely know that it's not the nail wraps. Like I've had something similar to this happen before. It just wasn't a very pleasant experience. I noticed after I got my kit that when I would try to apply the nail wraps, that they wouldn't lay properly. And I thought that I was doing something wrong. In fact, my upline was telling me that I just wasn't applying them correctly. On top of that, I was following the instructions and they would constantly just bubble up or crease. They wouldn't even fit the entire nail and the wraps just didn't fit properly. So I had some people that had purchased the nail wraps off of me come to me and complain that they were having the exact same problem. But anytime I would go to my upline, it always just felt like they were telling me that I was doing something wrong or that my clients were doing something wrong. It wasn't the nail wraps. It was always us, always somebody else, messing it up, being the problem. Just they don't know how to apply it correctly. And it felt really wrong at the time. Yeah, I look back on that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't a good experience. I really felt at the time that it was something that I could do, but I really couldn't continue with a good heart knowing that I was ripping people off. That's what it felt like. I just felt like I was badgering people, ripping people off. I didn't feel good during the entire time that I was a Danbury consultant. And then the final experience that I had with an MLM company was Beachbody. I was in a Facebook group for parents of children with autism. Our daughter had just been diagnosed with autism, and this would have been somewhere around 2016, and this group was really, really great. It was like a support group. They were amazing. I can't say enough how much they helped us, but one of the girls in the group I had gotten very close to. She became a very good friend of mine. I didn't know her personally, but I knew her through the group, and we chatted back and forth quite a bit. Her husband was in the military as well, so she was a military wife. Their child had autism, and I really connected with her on that. I felt like she had become one of my really good friends. So during the time that I was communicating with her, I knew that she was into like fitness and things like that. And it was about a month after we became pretty close that she ended up basically trying to get me to join her Beachbody team. And in the beginning, I didn't really know that it was an MLM company. I thought that she was just a personal trainer that was out trying to help people on their weight loss journeys and things like that. But the more that she told me and the more that she said, I soon realized that it was an MLM company, and I ended up researching it. She was pretty pushy with it as well. I had been pretty clear on the fact that I didn't want to join another MLM, that I had pretty terrible experience with the ones that I was in. And, she kept saying, oh, well, this is different. It's not like other MLM companies. They do all these trips and they have all these incentives, and it's really easy to move up and make money and, all of this stuff. And she was really encouraging. She would push the Shakeology and try to convince me to sign up for the Shakeology. She said it was really great, it had a lot of nutrition in it, and she ended up sending us some sample packs, I believe. But honestly, we were like, we could totally go to GNC or Walmart and buy this stuff like in bulk for half the cost of what they want. So we didn't end up doing that. I did not end up signing up as a Beachbody coach, but I did join a couple of her little groups that she had, like private little workout groups. After I had our daughter, I really didn't have any like weight problems. I was pretty lucky and dropped back down to basically my original weight. So I didn't really need to work out. I didn't really need to lose weight. If anything, it was just to like tone up. So I ended up going through some of the tips. I found some things online as well. My husband, again, in the military, so he was pretty knowledgeable on toning up and the right things to eat and what to do and everything to do with working out. So I followed a couple of her suggested meal recipes, and we kind of did our own little thing on the side, my husband and I, with working out with our own plan. Now, the thing about it is, in her private workout group, she asked, you know, like, hey, can you guys like send in your progress pictures? Like, it would be really cool if we all did like a day where we motivated each other and showed off our progress. So I ended up posting a couple pictures of the progress. And then it was a few months later that she had taken those pictures and used them on her Beachbody Facebook page, showing that weight loss is possible, that her clients have had successful weight loss, but it wasn't both me. One of them was me after we were working out, and the other picture was somebody else that didn't even look like me. It was two different people. And I ended up messaging her and asking her, like, hey, like, why are you using my picture like as a success story to help get people to join underneath of you? And she basically just ended up telling me she didn't know what I was talking about, that it was a picture that somebody else sent into her, and she doesn't steal people's pictures, she doesn't use them, she doesn't scam people, and that was it. She ended up blocking me afterwards, and I just thought that it was really crazy. So yeah, those are my experiences with MLM companies, and I mean, that's really not even all of them. I've had other run-ins with them, like people that I know that sells different MLM products and that are consultants for different companies. I'm just really glad that I was only out the startup costs of both MLM companies that I joined and the handful of items that I bought through Jamberry, because I feel like a lot of people lose thousands of dollars by joining these MLM companies. So I really do consider myself lucky. I know that that is still quite a bit of money, you know, $200 just for signing up with two different MLM companies, but I am so thankful that it wasn't thousands of dollars. I am so curious to know what experiences you guys have had with these companies. If you guys want to send over your MLM stories, you can send that to my email. It's linked below, or you can send it over to me on Instagram. I just want to let you guys know that I have a series coming up. I'm going to be doing an Amway series. I'm still heavily diving into this with research. It has taken me weeks to look into this, but I've had so many requests, so stay tuned because I am bringing you guys this massive Amway series. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know down in the comments below if you guys have had a similar experience to what I've had with these companies. All right, guys, until next time, bye!